हाँ जी साडा हॉकी नाइट इन कैनेडा पंजाबी प्री शो शुरू होने लगा आ ते प्री गेम नहीं वो तो हले 4 बजे शुरू होनी है पर सिर्फ इंटरनेट ते साडा प्री शो ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਣਾ
ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਯਾਰ ਅਜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰੌਂਠੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਦੇ
ਤੂੰ ਯਾਰ ਪਰੌਂਠਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਪਈ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਆ ਹੈ
ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ ਗੇਮ ਪਲੇਆਫਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪਰੌਂਠੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ
ਪਰੌਂਠੇ ਖਾ ਕੇ ਨੀਂਦ ਆਉਣੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਗ ਆਉਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਹਾਕੀ ਲਈ ਹੁਣ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਹਨਾ
ਤਿਆਰ ਆ ਵੀਰੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਤਾਂ
ਕਾਫੀ ਦੀ ਘੁੱਟ ਲਾ ਲਾ
ਤੂੰ ਇਹ ਲਾਲਾ ਦਾ ਬਲੈਕ ਕਾਫੀ ਬਣਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ
ਉਹ ਲਾਲਾ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਇੱਕ ਘੁੱਟ ਨਾਲ ਲਾਲਾ
ਕਾਫੀ ਪੀ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਯਾਰ
ਚਲੋ ਜੀ ਗੇਮ 4 ਅੱਜ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਰੇਂਜਰਸ ਅਤੇ ਕੈਰੋਲਾਈਨਾ ਹਰਿਕੇਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਸੋ ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ 3 ਗੇਮਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਰੇਂਜਰਸ ਜਿੱਤ ਗਏ ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਹ ਚੌਥੀ ਗੇਮ ਆ ਇਹਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੀਵਿਊ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਹੁਣ ਥੋੜਾ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਕਿ ਕੈਰੋਲਾਈਨਾ ਹਰਿਕੇਨਸ ਫੇਰ ਉਹੀ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਹਾਰ ਗਏ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫੇਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਵੀਪ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਾੜੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਖਬਰ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ
ਗੋਪੀ ਇਟਸ ਮੋਰ ਐਮਬੈਰਸਿੰਗ ਫॉर मी 2 years 3 years running I've been picking them as the cup favorite and the same story every time the pressure is on boys ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲ ਵੀ ਉਹੀ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਸਵੀਪ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਬਣ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ 2 ਸਾਲ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਇਹ ਸਵੀਪ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਪਲੇਆਫ ਚੋਂ
ਹੁਣ ਜੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੱਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਵੀ 4 ਵਾਰੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਕਮਬੈਕ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟੀਮ 3 ਗੇਮਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਿੱਛਾ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਰੀਸੈਂਟਲੀ ਵੀ 2 ਵਾਰੀ ਦੇਖ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਆ 2010 it was the Flyers down 0-3 against the Bruins they came back won that series fast forward to 2014 the Kings they were down 0-3 to the Sharks they came back so it's happened 4 times but you know what एक game करके
it's very difficult not like the NBA where it's never happened right I think it's like 158 or 160 times a team's been down 3-0 and nobody's ever come back but in the NHL it's happened before so it's possible anything can happen
and there's lots of ties too right there's teams that have come they're tied at 3-3 and then lost that game
but boys the pressure's on you can only use the same excuse so many times as Brendan Moore said you know we were in every game last year it wasn't actually a sweep and the same story this year we know they've been in it but they got big decisions to make maybe coaching maybe you know a bunch of UFAs coming up this year so this is a very important game
and the wild thing is the Hurricanes usually don't go out and get players for rental on trade deadline day, but they did this year. They got Gensel.
They made the moves.
They made a big move bringing him in, like a big-time scorer, and still, if that happens again to them, same thing. Swept in the first round, or not first round, but swept in the playoffs. It's not going to be a good look.
Yeah, but the Rangers are on fire, so let's see how they bring it tonight.
Yeah.
Scary team to play against. Trocheck has been the top guy for them, I think, right now.
So we're going to talk more about the consequences, what could happen if Carolina does lose, but one of the big storylines of this series has been the goaltending, especially Igor Shesterkin. He's just been on fire.
Man, the guy's getting bombarded with shots, and he's proved why he's the top goalie in the league right now. I think, what was it, last game, 50-something shots, before that 40-something shots, you know, and he has been the backbone of the team. They can play freely when they know this guy's in the net and he's got their back. So I think that's the code to crack tonight if they can get something past him early. They may be able to do something here, the Hurricanes, but this guy's looking so solid and that best goalie in the league in my eyes right now.
With the Canes, their goalies, Anderson played the first 2 games. He didn't play that bad. He didn't play bad at all. But if we look at the numbers here, it's against Shesterkin, 25, 57, 47 shots saved. And he just gets better and better as this series goes along. So he is a big difference right now. Last year, the Rangers went 7 games against the Devils, and that was a similar situation where they had different goalies. So playing around with different goalies isn't the greatest thing. It worked for the Devils last year, where they brought in Schmid the last games 3-7, and they win the series. But this one, what happened was Anderson plays the first 2, plays double OT in that game 2. Brind'Amour says this guy's tired. I'm going to rest him. So I don't know about that one. Sometimes, you know what, you're going to hear stuff from the coaches.
You'll find out, Harp, if he doesn't play tonight, then maybe he wasn't just tired. Maybe they needed the goalie change, right?
अपने phone refresh करी चलो हले पता नहीं केड़े गोल ची ने गोड़ा चौड़ा है.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Anderson. That's my guess.
नहीं तो Brind'Amour ने बहाना मारा सी, है ना?
हो सकता.
झूठ बोलिया सानू.
भी एमी थकाता बंदा.
पर इन्ना माड़ा नहीं Kochekov इन्ना माड़ा नहीं खेड़ा.
मुंडियो दोनों गोली नहीं मारे खेड़े मेरी नज़र से. If you look at both of them, they've been good, but you know, it comes down to who's the goalie on the other side of the ice, and that has been the story.
Yeah, the offense has not been working for Carolina, and you know, I think it's an easy decision. It doesn't really matter which goalie you pick, Anderson or Kochekov.
You know, one guy that's gotten going this year is Alexis Lafreniere. Last year, this guy had 0 points in 7 games against Devils. This year in the playoffs, he's already up to 9 points. So he's
9 points, and it's his best season of his career. And Freddie Anderson, as we were talking, boys, looks like hopefully he's in tonight. We don't know for sure. Update damange jarur. ਟਵਿੱਟਰ ਤੇ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਦੇ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਰਹਾਂਗੇ
ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਵਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਗੋਲਚੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੁਣ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਲਾਸਟ ਇੱਕ ਸਟੈਟਿਸਟਿਕ ਮਨਤਾਰ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਗੋਲਚੀ ਮਨਤਾਰ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਤੇ ਪਿਛਲੀਆਂ 30 ਗੇਮਾਂ ਪਲੇਆਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ 3 ਗੋਲ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਵਾਏ ਈਗੋਰ ਸ਼ੈਸਟਰਕਿਨ ਨੇ ਸੋ 30 playoff games in a row 3 goals or less is what he's allowed so the man is clearly an elite goaltender right
beast mode
Rangers haven't lost a game yet. Haven't lost a game. They're 7-0 in these playoffs. They're rocking it. And another one they were talking about, I heard, was had Boston, or well, Boston's still in the series. They're down 2-1.
Yeah.
If Boston gets through the Bruins and face the Rangers, and then in the NBA, it's Rangers and Boston, it could be just a 2-arena series for the first time in the NBA and
Knicks and
NHL.
Celtics
also if they pick up the sweep tonight in the modern day era with 7-game series throughout the whole playoffs, there has been no team that's gone sweep. So the Rangers can make history tonight too.
So yeah, goaltending is a big deal, but also the special teams, right? That's been another big a point in this series, right?
Yeah, we got Trocheck. He scored 4 power play goals in a row. Going back to the last series where they swept the Capitals, he's been on a tear. You saw it in him just mocking Aho. You know, he takes a cross check. ਪਿੱਠ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੋਇਆ ਹਨਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਗੋਲ ਉਹਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਹੱਸਦਾ
ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਚਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਛੱਡਦਾ
It was a kabaddi one, you know, ਜਦੋਂ ਰੁਕਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ and he gets on the line, he goes like this. That's exactly what Trocheck was doing. He'd be ਲੈ ਲਿਆ point.
Tappy marke.
Yeah.
He's gelling with Panarin. They look so
100%.
good together. And on the other end, Hurricanes, Mundial 0 for 15 in the series power play. They were the second best power play in the regular season throughout the NHL. And in the first round, they had 5 goals and 15 opportunities. A very strong power play in the first round against the Islanders. They ripped it up. But what happened here? I mean, they've just been getting shut down. They can't get set up properly. It shows you the speed and the physicality that the Rangers play with. It's unmatched. So they're going to have to come up with a little bit of a different game plan here. Maybe get a greasy 1 or 2 in front of the net. And here are the stats I just mentioned for you guys. You know, no goals, unacceptable on 15 opportunities.
Stats wala attack. Mujbani yaad rakhda. The other thing is Carolina had a very poor start to the season. A lot of guys were not in the lineup. Guys like Svechnikov,
Switch
Svechnikov.
Ke Punjabi no vi nahi kehna. We as in Victor.
Yeah, no, you're right. Hurt. You know, they've had injuries in the past. When they had Pacioretty, a guy was going to step up hurt. Now they don't have those excuses. The guys are healthy. They have Gensel. He's producing offensively, but you're still coming up a little short. It just shows you how deep both these teams are, especially the Rangers.
I'm going to guess that Rangers take it tonight. It's got to be a sweep.
ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਡਿਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਪੁੱਛਣੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਸੋ ਸੰਖੇਪ ਚ ਇਸ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਹਲੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਸੋ ਡੋਨਟ ਗੋ ਐਨੀਵੇਅਰ ਯੈਟ ਬਟ ਇਨ ਟਰਮਸ ਆਫ ਦਿਸ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ you know predictions also
ਇਹਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੱਤਾ
ਇਹਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਦੱਸਤਾ ਪਰ
what are you thinking
ਹੋਰ ਗੱਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ the games could have gone either way right the last 2 games went to overtime more heavily
you're giving us the Brindamore line.
Rangers are heavily outshot so I'm just going to guess another overtime game.
Rangers win?
Rangers get outshot and they win the game.
I think Hurricanes win tonight. I'm still sticking by my prediction. This can still go to 7, boys. It can go to 7, and the Canes can pull it off. Every game has come down to just literally, like you're saying, one mistake, and that's all it is. Any team can make that mistake. I'm taking Rangers, Hurricanes tonight.
So let's say Carolina loses this game today. What are the consequences for the Hurricanes? Like I think if they lose the series, period, there are going to be some consequences, but especially if they lose today and they get swept.
One, I think they're going to part ways with Brindamore.
Okay.
It'll be amicable, and they're going to be like, you know what? Didn't work out 2 years in a row. This guy's got a good resume with him right now, but whether he wants to come back to Carolina or not, that's a different story. So Brindamore, there's options. There's a job open in Leafland right now, so we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, here you're looking at them getting swept last year, and again, Brindamore said it didn't feel like a sweep, but we got swept, so it's a results-based business. I agree, Gopi. You know, there might be a coaching change if they are swept tonight, but man, such a tough thing because they've been in it every game, every series. They're super competitive. They're a cup favorite every year. You look at the predictions coming out from every analyst, they're a cup favorite, and it would be an unfortunate loss for them. But they're going to have to make, like I said, tough decisions with a lot of UFAs coming up too.
It's tough. The coaches usually end up taking the fall. It's not his fault they have those goaltenders in net. They don't have an elite goaltender. So that's not Brindamore's fault. I mean, what's he supposed to do?
You know what? They have such a structured game, and you can't pin it on the goalies. They haven't been terrible, but like I said, they're just getting out-goalied by the guy on the other side.
Okay.
That's what it is. I mean, you can look at it, their special teams, they're not doing well, but who are you going to score that power play goal on? It's just Shesterkin,
Exactly.
right?
So we got to talk about a different series as well. There's only 2 Canadian teams
man,
left.
do we have to?
We have to, man. We have to. ਦੋ Canadian teams ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੇਡ ਰਹੇ ਆ, Edmonton and Vancouver. So game 2 was last night. What do you boys think?
Could have gone either way. I thought Vancouver played very well the first couple of periods. You know, they got maybe there's a goal that Zadorov scores that Skinner probably wants back. The power plays were clicking. Both teams had a power play goal each in the first period. Both teams had a 4-on-4 goal, but Draisaitl, he was a game-time decision, and he comes into the game and takes over. He gets a goal and 3 assists. McDavid, breakaway goal. He also adds 1 goal and 3 assists. In overtime, they get a bit of a fluky goal, but hey, good things happen when you're doing good things. So it was Bouchard's goal, but it did go off of Ian Cole's stick.
Absolutely ridiculous what McDavid and Draisaitl were able to do. And here's the scary thing, boys. I think they have another gear. Even though Draisaitl played so well, I know he might not be fully healthy. And look at the numbers here, the ice time. Draisaitl, McDavid, close to 28 minutes of ice time. Dylan Holloway only played under 7 minutes, so that tells you they were, like, every time you looked on the ice, they're on the ice in that third period. And like I said, if Draisaitl's healthy, he still has another level to his game. It's going to be scary for the Canucks going back to Edmonton.
It was a good game. Yeah, I mean, it was a tough game, especially after that first one where the Canucks were down and out, came back and won it. This one was a really good hockey game, exciting from start to finish. I felt like the Canucks led off in the third period. They were dominated in the third period.
They were a great team for 2 periods.
For 2 periods, yeah, but they led off a little bit, and they didn't try to push for offensive chances. They just kind of sat back and tried to hang on to that lead.
Well, Rick Tocchet even said it. It came down to them being a little timid and losing puck possession. And, you know, it's not just about keeping the puck away from McDavid and Draisaitl. You still have to play your game and stick to your guns. And they just kind of played a little scared. And I can understand why when those 2 guys are coming at you full speed on the ice, it's a little, you know, it's definitely scary for the defense.
He called it hot potato. That's what the Canucks were doing. They just needed to hold on to it longer. That's what he's trying to say. But Canucks, they had 3 different leads in that game, right? And at the end, Oilers take the win. So 2 really good games in that series. I think Patake fair perne tiji game de vich.
And with Draisaitl, you have probably the smartest shooter. I'm not saying the best shooter in the league. There might be guys out there who have a better shot than him in terms of the speed, the velocity they shoot it with. But the smartest shooter in the game, you can't give him space. He'll pick those corners.
Game 3 is tomorrow night in Edmonton. Game 4 will be in Edmonton as well. Randeep Janda ਉੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਆ. So Randeep will be there, Sportsnet 650, calling those games live from Edmonton, games 3 and 4. But we have to talk about another Canadian team, even though they're not in the playoffs anymore. The Toronto Maple Leafs, some big decisions this week. Got knocked out in the first round again to Boston. They lost, and Sheldon Keefe has been let go, and Brendan Shanahan had a big presser on Friday. What do you guys think of all that?
I don't agree with that decision. You know, at 10 years of Brendan Shanahan, I think it's time for Shanahan to take the blame. Sheldon Keefe, he just signed a 2-year extension during the season. I think he did as much as he could. There's only so much you can do to push the players. Brendan Shanahan, the Shanahan plan has failed, and I'm shocked that this guy is still here after 10 years, right? I mean, I think all that's next is one more bad season of a first-round exit, or maybe even not making the playoffs, see what happens. But it's going to be Tree Living's job to take over that. And so Shanahan plan is not working.
Fail ho gaya, yaar tera fail ho gaya, Shanahan. And I agree with you, Hart, because, you know, this is not pinning the blame on one person. There's definitely a culture issue with this team. And you saw the stars getting frustrated, jawing at each other closer to the end of the series there. Things are going to shake up. I think let's see what... Tough to move Tavares. Let's see what happens with Mitch Marner.
ਠੀਕ ਆ ਮੁੰਡਿਓ ਐਂਡ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਡਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦੇਖਣਾ 4 ਵਜੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਣਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਬ੍ਰਾਡਕਾਸਟ ਓਮਨੀ ਟੈਲੀਵਿਜ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਹਾਕੀ 9 ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਐਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਕੈਰੋਲਾਈਨਾ ਤੇ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਰੇਂਜਰਸ ਦਾ ਮੈਚ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਚੌਥਾ ਮੈਚ ਤੇ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਪ੍ਰੈਡਿਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇਤੀਆਂ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਰੇਂਜਰਸ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਤਣਾ ਤਕਦੀਰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕੈਰੋਲਾਈਨਾ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਤਣਾ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਕੈਰੋਲਾਈਨਾ ਨੇ 1 ਗੇਮ ਇਹ ਜਿੱਤ ਜਾਣੀ ਆ ਪਰ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿੱਤਣੀ ਸੋ ਬਾਕੀ ਹੁਣ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਜੁੜਨਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਓਮਨੀ ਟੈਲੀਵਿਜ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਠੀਕ 4 ਵਜੇ ਹਾਕੀ 9 ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਐਡੀਸ਼ਨ